Now on CoastTV News.
Another day, another ferry cancellation. Which ride tomorrow is already off the schedule? And city leaders in Lewes want your input on a certain kind of housing when a public hearing is now scheduled.
And we're now going to have temperatures falling into the 20s, so we've gone from extreme cold to normal cold, but then we might go back to extreme cold again by Friday.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Another day of weather disruptions for the Cape May-Lewes Ferry. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Well, the ferry announced all trips were canceled today due to high winds and winter weather. The ferry also canceled several trips over the past 2 weeks due to ice and all that ice in the Delaware Bay. New tonight, the first round trip ride tomorrow, that's at 8:45 a.m. out of Lewes, that has also been canceled. Moving on, if you want a say in how housing could change in Lewes, mark your calendar for March 2nd. City leaders planning a public hearing on accessory dwelling units, or ADUs. Those are small, separate living spaces built on the same property as a single-family home. Lewes City Council set that hearing date during tonight's meeting. The city is looking at allowing these units in certain residential zones.
I think this is a very useful feature for these people. Some people may have a teenager who lives up there. Some people may have a home health aide who lives up there. But these uses are non-conforming. They are not contemplated by the code.
City officials say the goal here is to expand long-term rental options while still keeping the look and feel of existing neighborhoods. You're looking now at the corner of Milton-Ellendale Highway and Union Street Extended. That's where crews are building a Royal Farms. You can see a lot of trees have already come down there. Some heavy equipment operating, clearing and leveling the land before the convenience store and gas station are built up. New tonight, Delaware's new paid leave program is off to a strong start. The state started accepting claims on January 1st. Workers received their first payments last week. So nearly half of the approved claims, about 45%, were for medical leave. 42% were for new parents. Family caregiver leave makes up 13%, only less than 1% for military-related needs. It is still the off-season, clearly, but in Ocean City, the town is finding some ways to draw in visitors. That's from sports to convention center events. February actually shaping up to be a pretty busy month. According to Tom Perlozzo, the director of tourism for Ocean City, all of these additions will help the town economically during the off-season.
Ocean City's evolving in the event space, and I think, people are realizing that, there's 11,000 hotel rooms inside the city, 20,000 short-term rentals. The infrastructure for hosting those kinds of events is in place. It's out of season. The rates are perfect.
Perlozzo also says more than 50 unique events are on the table for the coming months. That's including an LPGA golf tournament, even a Supergirl surf festival. Now we're going to look live into Ocean City, and our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a check on the forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening to you, Christina. And so we're having what's closer to a normal evening. We're still a little bit below the mark, actually, climatologically and statistically speaking. So right now we're at 26 degrees, for example, in Ocean City. Now, as far as our expectations are concerned for the rest of the night, we're going to drop down to the mid to lower 20s with partly to mostly cloudy skies. So the cloud cover is going to build back in for us pretty steadily. But we're not concerned about any precipitation at this point. We're very clear as far as precipitation is concerned. We will see additional cloud cover, but we have no extreme cold warnings, watches, or advisories that are in effect at this point, which is a good thing. We're climbing out of the cellar, so to speak. But winds are going to be pushing out of the south by Tuesday, so the wind chills are going to feel in the 20s, and we'll start feeling a lot better. Now, Wednesday, winds will shift out of the northwest, but we're supposed to be a little warmer by then. Coming up, we'll talk about how normal things will become briefly before they tank again.
Okay, Paul, thanks. Take a look inside here. This is the Game On Sports Complex on Route 24. One side has a trampoline and the other side still under construction, but it will be turf. Now the complex says once this opens in a few months, phase 2 for a new building will begin. That's also going to have a full turf area and hard court spaces so they can host different events. The Delaware Office of Tourism announced it will give Game On Sports $2.3 million for the project. We spoke with people nearby, though. They have mixed opinions.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. I think it'll get a good reception.
My concern is the traffic and everything is just unbelievable on 24.
The complex there will also be available to rent for birthday parties and some other events. The owner said the goal is to open by the end of April. The Cesar Rodney School District in Camden says today's referendum passed. Voters flocking to the polls all day, this after a failed attempt in 2023. District leaders say the money will go towards school safety, student services, and competitive pay for teachers and staff. Here's what some voters had to say earlier today.
I think we should invest in them, and investing in them is also investing in our future and how it's run when we're older.
The rising costs should be making things happen on a positive end, and they're not. And that I don't like.
But after a full day of voting in Laurel, the Laurel School District says voters have rejected a referendum there that would have brought in some new operating funds. According to unofficial results the district shared on Facebook, 612 people voted in favor, more than 1,000 voting against it. This marked the district's first current expense referendum in about 40 years. Leaders say the funding would have supported staff salaries, student services, transportation, and school safety as costs go up and enrollment grows. Some voters who opposed the measure say they want to see stronger academic results before paying higher taxes.
A few years ago, we got a huge reassessment to build all new schools in the district. Come on. Fixed income, it doesn't make sense to continue to dip in my pocket and not see the test score results to reflect that.
If the referendum had passed, the district estimated the average homeowner would pay about $171 more a year in Laurel. Well, today, host Savannah Guthrie posted a new video today as the search for her missing mother enters its second week. The family believes Nancy Guthrie is still out there, but say they need the public's help in finding her. Sherelle Hubbard has the latest details in the case.
On day 9 of the search for Nancy Guthrie, her daughter, Today anchor Savannah Guthrie, says the family believes their missing mother is still out there. But
we are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
The latest plea coming in a new video Monday as a purported deadline looms.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her.
On Saturday, the Guthrie family appealed directly to the apparent kidnapper. On Monday, they appealed directly to the public.
So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement.
Investigators remained at Nancy Guthrie's home on Monday looking for any new clues in her disappearance.
You know you had blood on the front steps. You know you have an 84-year-old woman who was taken out of her home against her will in what appears to be a surprise attack with a level of violence attached to it.
Guthrie's purported kidnappers demanded $6 million by 5 p.m. Monday in an apparent ransom note sent to CNN affiliate K-Gun and other media outlets. The latest note included a threat to Guthrie's life, K-Gun reported. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
The FBI is still offering a $50,000 reward in the case. And we are just getting started. There's more news coming up, like love costing more this year, how much Americans are expected to spend for Valentine's Day. And Paul Williams is in our Coast TV First Alert Weather Center. He has a look at your full forecast after this. But first, a federal lawsuit over voter information. Why organizations across Delaware are now getting involved.
It may sound kind of odd, but there's a lot of truth to this hook I'm about to give you. We're going to go from extreme cold to regular old-fashioned cold before we go back to extreme cold again. There we have it. Except maybe this Friday won't be extreme, like I would call last weekend doubly extreme. So you'll get it when I get there. Okay, here we go. So 23 degrees at Rehoboth at this present time, and we're going to stay in the lower 20s for the rest of the night. Now, we are going to go back to our normal climatological highs and lows for the next couple of days, which is going to be helpful, and actually will probably feel a lot milder for us. We are currently clear of any kind of precipitation. We don't have any active warnings or watches. But take a look at some of the overnight lows. We're going to drop into the lower 20s to teens, upper teens, 18, 19. That's going to be the range. Now, here's where the normalcy comes back into play. We're back in the 40s. They've been it's like seeing a long lost friend that you actually wanted to see at your high school reunion, you know? So we have the winds coming out of the south. That's going to also help with keeping things a little milder. You see, we start off Tuesday with cloud cover in place and temperatures in the 20s. Clear out, the winds will be pushing out of the south, and we'll see some sunshine in the afternoon, 40 to 41 degrees. And with the winds out of the south, it's going to feel almost like a warm day. You'll almost think it's springtime. You'll get happy for a moment. And then we'll stay cloudy for late Wednesday going into Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday night or afternoon, we'll be back in the 40s again. But this time the winds will be coming out of the northwest. And there'll be active cutting winds, okay? Not so friendly, you know. And then Thursday, we'll still have those winds coming out of the same direction. So Wednesday is going to be like a really windy, rude, obtrusive kind of a day. We're looking at a range between 29 to 34 mile per hour winds by Wednesday afternoon. That'll continue going into Thursday mid-morning. So we're going to have those winds pouring out of the northwest, which is going to change things. But here's the bottom line. The temperature trend will finally go in our favor. You see, we're not talking about today, but for Tuesday and Wednesday, we're looking at 46 to 47 degrees. The average high is 47. So since we're going to creep back to the norm, that's going to feel like relief. Wind chills, another story altogether. Now, Wednesday, the wind chills are going to be tolerable, not a big deal. But Thursday morning, they start going back to the lower 20s. But Friday, we're back to 14 degrees. 15, 16. That's why I'm saying we'll go back to the extreme, but not doubly extreme, just single extreme. Sunday going to Monday, we're looking for widespread rain. A couple of my co-workers saying they have outdoor plans on Sunday. I'd say planning dealing with some rain. Then that rain will finally carry to the north out of the way because that low is going to track along the path and really along the land mass and not out in the water. So for the next 3 days, we'll go from 40s to 30s, Assateague and Chincoteague. Ocean City, same situation, 2 days of 40s, and then we'll drop down to the 30s. We're going to get progressively cold as we get closer to Friday. Just kind of keep that in mind. But we're going to have 2 normal days, so let's catch our breath. So as I wrap up, 18 for tonight, 46 for tomorrow, 47 for Wednesday, and then finally, here's a look at your extended forecast.
Thank you, Paul. The ACLU of Delaware hoping to get a federal lawsuit dismissed. You might remember in December, the federal government sued Delaware and 22 other states for their voter rolls. That includes information like your social security number, your address, and driver license number. The state of Delaware refused to give that up, but now, as Brandon Ferguson reports, the American Civil Liberties Union of Delaware is stepping in.
Executive Director for La Esperanza, Bryant Garcia, helps Latino and immigrant families with different matters on a daily basis. Garcia says the federal lawsuit demanding voters' personal information directly attacks against the Latino community that are in the process of being in the U.S. legally.
People that we work with, that we have helped become a U.S. citizen, that we have helped register to vote, we know that they've done things according to the law. And we want to make sure that they have no fear of being able to go out and vote.
The lawsuit demands Delaware's election commissioner to provide the federal government with the state's entire voter registration with details. The ACLU says it's government overreach, but the Trump administration says this will make elections, quote, honorable and honest again.
One man we spoke to off camera here in Georgetown says he doesn't mind if the government has his information and that it will not change his day-to-day living here in the first state.
Andrew Bernstein, civil counsel for the ACLU of Delaware, says this should be looked at as a nonpartisan issue.
This kind of request has never been made by a Democrat or a Republican in terms of this sweeping request for data. It is something that people on both sides of the aisle should be concerned about. And it cannot become the norm in our country.
A federal judge will now decide the future of Delawareans' voter information.
That was Brandon Ferguson reporting, and Delaware definitely is not alone here. The Department of Justice has sued, according to the DOJ website, more than 20 states over access to voter registration data. That includes states like Pennsylvania, New York, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Washington. The first of those lawsuits was filed in late 2025 as part of a nationwide push by the DOJ to obtain statewide voter rolls. Several cases are still pending. Others have already faced legal challenges in court. And this does bring us right to our Coast TV poll. We're asking who should control sensitive voter data. Let's see here. 62% say the state government, 36% say the federal government. Only a few people choosing those other answers. We also have a comment tonight. This is from Bruce in Selbyville. Bruce says state officials should share voter information with the federal government for accountability and to ensure only citizens are voting in our elections. Why would a state want to hide such information? Thank you, Bruce, for your comment. And you can leave your own comment or you can still vote. Go to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. Coming up next, it's that time to file your taxes. What changes could put more money back in your pocket this year?
This is Coast TV News at 11.
The National Retail Federation expecting Americans will spend $29 billion this Valentine's Day. That is a record amount. According to the NRF's annual survey, shoppers are budgeting about $200 for gifts. Candy remains the most popular Valentine's gift. That's followed by flowers, cards, a night out, and jewelry. Well, you've likely received your tax documents by now. That means the clock is ticking to file your taxes. The Trump administration made a lot of changes under the Big Beautiful Bill that could mean a lower tax bill and higher refunds for filers. Tonight, Jen Sullivan explains the biggest changes you'll see this year.
The deadline to file your 2025 taxes is quickly approaching.
I would just get it done as soon as possible.
Lisa Green-Lewis is a CPA and tax expert with TurboTax. Here's what she says you need to know. First, a higher standard deduction. That means more of your money is shielded from federal taxes. For single filers, it increases to $15,750, up from $15,000. For married couples filing jointly, it increases to $31,500, up from $30,000. Second, a higher state and local tax deduction, commonly known as SALT. It allows you to deduct your state and local income taxes or your state and local general sales taxes. That cap jumps to $40,000 from $10,000 for married couples filing together. You may also be able to deduct your property taxes as long as your income or sales taxes doesn't put you over that $40,000 cap.
In those high property tax states and state tax states, they'll be able to claim some more of those deductions.
Third, a larger tax credit for children. Parents can receive $2,200 per child. They must be under 17 at the end of the tax year, among other requirements. If you work in an industry where you get tips or overtime, there are some changes you need to know about. Eligible workers can deduct up to $25,000 in tipped income.
If you're a service worker, like a firefighter, police officer, you can deduct up to $12,500 in overtime.
Last year, the average refund was around $3,100, according to the IRS. With these new changes, some can expect an even higher refund.
We are expecting filers to see up to $1,000 increase in their refund or lower balance due.
The deadline to file your taxes is April 15th. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Coming up in sports, Seaford boys basketball has not lost in a month. The Delmarva Sports Network has some winning team secrets when we're back. And coming up, you may not be headed to the Olympics, but you can still train smart. After the break, a sports medicine doctor shares how to feel your best without getting hurt. A new study finds how well a cancer treatment works may depend on the time of day that it's given to patients. Researchers gathered more than 200 people who had the same kind of lung cancer and put them on the same type of treatments, but the only difference was that half of the group got their medications earlier in the day and the other half got them later. Well, it turns out patients who got their first rounds of treatments before 3 p.m. had, on average, about 5 more months before their cancers grew and spread. They also lived almost a year longer than those who got their treatments later in the day. They also had a better odds of being alive at the end of the 2-year study. Almost 3,000 athletes from more than 90 nations going for gold in this year's Winter Olympics, but most people won't ever get a chance to compete on a world stage. If you haven't reached elite Olympic status by now, you can still win when it comes to your health. Tonight, Mandy Gaither talks to a sports medicine doctor about how to train like an Olympian.
You may not make Olympic history like Layla Edwards or ski for Team USA, but don't let that dash your dreams of being in the best shape possible.
It's very inspiring to see elite athletes who work so hard to get to the world's greatest stage in sports. And it's very natural for everyday people to watch it and be inspired.
Dr. George Elderry with Orlando Health says even if you're not an Olympian, you can win good health with hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. But if you're just starting out, he says, take it slow.
I think too many people jump into something that's a little too intense for what their capabilities and what their athletic background is, and that's where you run into your risk of injuries.
Next, Elderry says to dedicate a certain time of day to moving your body, then slowly add to it, building up to a sustainable routine. And be consistent. Olympians aren't just preparing every once in a while. He says the general recommendation is 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week and 2 to 3 days of strength training with resistance.
So we're working on getting our body stronger and then working on our, our aerobic capacity and our ability to be fit.
Elderry says staying hydrated, maintaining a healthy sleep schedule, and having a healthy, balanced diet are also key.
High-performing athletes, they're like sports cars. They need premium fuel.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Speaking of the Olympics, let's now take a look at the medal count. So far it looks like Italy has 1 gold, 2 silver, 6 bronze, so 9 medals in total. Japan has 2 gold, 2 silver, 3 bronze with 7 in total. The U.S. so far, we've only got 2 gold, so 2 in total. Hopefully we'll get some more. We're rooting for you, Team USA. Don't forget the Winter Olympics run until February 22nd. You can only watch here on CoastTV. Also, a quick programming note for you. Due to the Winter Olympics from February 9th until February 20th, you can watch Jeopardy on our sister station, Fox 21, at its regular time, 7:30. It's the same show, the same time, just a different channel while the Winter Games are on.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Tomorrow night, strap in for a DSN doubleheader. Woodbridge basketball hosts both the boys and girls of Seaford. The Blue Jay boys were on our air in late January. Haven't lost since. You can send us the bill later, Seaford. But seriously, that's 10 straight wins for a must-watch team coached by Vince Evans Jr., led by his son on the court, Vince Evans III, who, by the way, within 8 points of 1,000, so you can catch that on our air tomorrow. But I actually want to highlight his cousin and standout teammate, Swag Matthews, who I caught up with just a couple weeks ago after the Laurel win.
You've played some of the best teams in the state. You played St. George's Tech. You played Middletown. Now you're rattling off win after win. What has changed the most for this group so far this season to start stacking these wins?
Really, it started like what you said, like the upstate people, like we never played, like since we're downstate, we never play upstate. So we got to experience that early in the season. like get that upseed, like what that upseed is like, and really like just like now we know we're supposed to kill down seed, like easily kill the competition.
13-3 record. Yes, Swag, they are killing the competition. The girls' game is at 5 o'clock tomorrow. The guys play around 6:30. You can catch all of this doubleheader action live on our main channel, the Delmarva Sports Network. Have a great night, Delmarva.
So Dover right now we're at 24 degrees and we're going to drop down to 18 by 2 o'clock with partly to mostly cloudy skies. We're clear of any precipitation at this particular point. Our umbrella giveaway winner is John Barrett of Ocean View. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis, property restoration experts. Keep up your forecast by calling our weather line. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Bruckstead, Mandalis, and Federico. And here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Hey, a couple of normal days. Tuesday 46, Wednesday 47. We drop below normal on Thursday and Friday.
Normal, I'll take it. Thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. You can find more news and weather on our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.